Thank you, James Krause. James Krause has stepped in on short notice at UFC 247 to take on Trevin Giles, who was originally supposed to fight Antonio Arroyo, but Arroyo pulled out just the day before the contest. And now James Krause is taken about on short notice, up a weight class. He came to the venue as a cornerman, and now he's a fighter. It's crazy. This is James Krause. He's on a 6-fight win streak right now, and I'm telling you guys, as soon as I heard this news, I thought, that's crazy, day's notice. And then I started to think to myself, and I saw the weigh-in, and I started to think, James Krause maybe has this one in the bag. Am I wrong? I think James Krause has got this. I think this is going to be a big moment for his career, and I think this should take the place of Juan Adams versus Justin Tafa on the main card, just because of the storyline of him taking it on short notice. But you know what? We don't get things all our own way. He's at least headlining the prelims. If he pulls this off, this is a big career move for James Krause. And James Krause has taken these career moves in his career before. He was already in the UFC, but decided to compete in the Ultimate Fighter. Like, he knows what to do to give his career that boost. And right now, he's on a 6-fight win streak at welterweight over great names. He's coming off a big win, I think, against Wale Alves, I seem to remember. Or, no, over Sergio Moraes. KO'd him in the 3rd round. And he beat Wale Alves before that as well. I mean, James Krause is on a tear right now at welterweight, but he takes this one at middleweight, and I've just seen the weigh-ins. James Krause has got a centimetre difference in reach at a disadvantage. That's not much, moving up to middleweight. He's taller than Trevin Giles. Giles has got a little bit more weight on him. I can see that. He's got a little bit more bulk. But James Krause's style works perfectly for him to move up in weight, because he's the faster guy. He's way more technical. He's way more experienced. He takes the fight into deep waters. He drowns you. And Giles tries to do that as well. And Giles, or Giles, Joe Rogan was saying Giles. I'm pretty sure it's Trevin Giles. Either way, hasn't had the most successful career so far. So this is a big short notice storyline for James Krause to capitalise on maybe not the best of opponents. Like, a lot's being made out of Trevin Giles here, and don't get me wrong, 11-2 is a great record. But when you're coming into the UFC, and you're a young, undefeated contender, and the UFC's giving you guys like Zach Cummings and Gerald Meerschaert, if you're going to be something special, you're taking those guys out. And I feel like we've learned with Trevin Giles that maybe the problem has a bit of a problem. You know, like he's on a bit of a slide right now. You've got James Krause coming in on short notice. Trevin Giles is very lucky to be in the situation that he's in, because it's such an empty card. No other card of a pay-per-view would have a guy coming off 2 losses headline the fucking prelims. That's unheard of. And now James Krause has made this fight card way more interesting. To be honest with you guys, I was thinking this is going to be, I'm not too excited for the pay-per-view, but now that James Krause has taken this on short notice, thank you, James Krause. Just thank you, because now the card's a little bit more interesting. I like James Krause, man. I really like James Krause for doing this. And James Krause is a very marketable guy on a 6-fight win streak. If he wins this one, which I think he will, by the way, I think he'll win it by 3rd round finish, TKO, or maybe a decision. I think he'll win a unanimous decision over Trevin Giles. I don't see him finishing him on the feet. I think he'll win a decision. Krause is a savage, okay? And this ain't no old veteran that's on his way out of the game. He's beating the savages back to back to back, and he's only lost to the best in the world. I know he lost to Donald Cerrone before in his past. He's lost to Jorge Masvidal as well at some point at lightweight. Like, this is, I feel like James Krause is a streaking contender here. Like, he's winning 6 in a row at welterweight. He's a savage. Welterweight's a real difficult division to keep wins together in. I mean, Nico Price is a huge name, and he wins every other fight. Like, it's a real tough fight in welterweight to string together wins. Mike Perry's having the same problem. And for James Krause to go on a 6-fight win streak over great fucking names, if he wins, which I know he will, and I'm betting that he will, we're off to the fucking races. James Krause is so marketable. He has an entertaining style. He stays on the feet. He puts shots on you. He's like a Nick Diaz kind of approach, but a few more knees and kicks as well. So it's a little bit more diverse of a Nick Diaz approach. He's a beast. He slaps you. He talks shit in a cage. He flies to Brazil to fight Brazilians back-to-back in Wale Alves and Sergio Moraes. I think you've got one. And they're making a big deal out of it as well. I'm going to pick my nose off camera right now, and it's really annoying me that I have to pick my nose, but I'm going to pick my nose because I'm scum. And he's really marketable as well because they made a big deal out of him taking this on short notice. Dana White was at the UFC 248 press conference, Adesanya versus Romero, which, by the way, what's the point of even having Romero? No one can understand a fucking word he was saying. Either way, I'll react to that in a different video. They made a big deal out of James Krause. That's going to get a lot of fucking views. Hearing a guy that came as a corner man taking a fight on a day's notice. They made a huge deal about it in the weigh-ins. Joe Rogan did a whole 30-second fucking monologue about how sick James Krause is. He's going to get some rub. He's going to get some rub if he wins. And I think he is going to win. I feel like Trevin Giles right now, the pressure is fucking on. Like, he came into this fight already on a 2-fight losing streak, ready to be cut from the UFC if he loses. If he loses this fight anyway, against Antonio Arroyo, he's out of the UFC. That's the reality. He was already coming into this fight on that mentality, okay? Now he's taken on a guy on a day's notice from a lower weight class that's pretty fucking good on a 6-fight win streak right now and would look really badass and cool if he demolished him, and he's in his hometown and he's about to be cut if he loses. I feel like the pressure's going to get to him. He's a young fighter at 27. He's not a veteran of James Krause. I don't see him getting an early finish because even in Trevin Giles' career, I mean, his last few fights at LFA went to the 3rd round, the 2nd round. He's had some first round finishes, but against top level competition, he can't seem to string it together. James Krause is not an older guy who's a veteran of the game that has a weak chin. Like, he can take a fucking shot. Wale Alves can swing him. And he was swinging heavy bombs at James Krause, and James Krause takes it well and stays on you. I think James Krause has got this one. I really do. He's got nothing to lose. He's coming in here. He's going to win fucking big. I'm picking James Krause. And I swear to God, people who have been watching my channel for a while now, I'm not this guy that's jumping on a James Krause fucking bandwagon, okay? I've been cheering James Krause from the very beginning. How long have I fucking spoken about the James fucking Krause, okay? He's a beast. I knew this was going to happen. I didn't know this situation was going to happen whatsoever, but I knew that he was going to get the shine that he deserves in his next fight. And if he wins this and goes back to welterweight, there are big fights looking... Listen, yeah. There are big fights lying around at welterweight, waiting to happen. Santiago Ponzinibbio is waiting around looking for an opponent. If James Krause can win and go against Ponzinibbio, I assume the winner of that fight would be ranked number 12, number 13. James Krause, thank you. Goodbye. I just wanted to react to that. I'll react to the UFC 248 press conference tomorrow, but that's really cool. You took on it. That's just really cool. I like that. Very cool. And he got a big cheer from the crowd. Like, they marketed Trevin Giles in the whole segment as the hometown guy, but Trevin Giles got no cheers, and James Krause got all of the fucking cheers in Houston, Texas. Yeah. I could see this going well for him. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. James Krause wins a unanimous decision. Trevin Giles gets a bit gun shy. Krause starts tagging him up. I can see Krause doing very well. Click that button there. Goodbye. I know Giles has fought as high as light heavyweight, but he's not too big, to be honest with you. I was surprised about how small he is. I thought Krause would win anyway, even if he was a little bit smaller, but turns out they're pretty much the same size. Like, similar reach, 1 centimetre within each other. Like, there's no real size advantage here unless Giles packs on a bit more weight. I got Krause, but a day's notice worries me on cardio, but he's not cutting any weight. And he always stays in shape, and he had a 6-pack on the scales, even though he's not even in fight camp. So he obviously stays in relatively good shape, and I'm sure he wouldn't take a fight like this with his style of breaking guys in later rounds. He has to break guys in later rounds. He really does have that cardio-based style. He wouldn't take this fight knowing that he doesn't have that cardio in his back pocket right now. Because otherwise he'd have no way to win. Because he's not a KO artist in the first round. I trust him. I trust this move from him. I think he'll win. I like it. James Krause, everyone's new favourite fighter. Click that button there. Thank you for watching. You know what? It's 9 minutes 25. I could wait for another advert to stick it in there right in the middle at 10 minutes. But I'm not going to. Because I'm feeling generous. James Krause has rewarded us with entertainment from the pay-per-view. And I'm not going to wait until 10 minutes for the extra advert, because James Krause has done the UFC world that big of a favour and saved UFC 247 like the legend that he is, and done us that charity. And I really do value that from James Krause. So for that, I'm not going to stretch this video out for 10 minutes. Click that button there. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe. Oh look, it's 10 minutes. What a shame. That's another advert, I guess. Oh dear. I tried not to, but you know, it just seemed to happen. Goodbye.